Hello and welcome to the Film Music House. My name is Thomas Mikusz, and it's my honor today to welcome composer Kathryn Bostic. She is an Emmy-nominated and award-winning composer, artist, producer, and she's known for her work on a multitude of award-winning films, television, Broadway, critically acclaimed symphonic concert performances, and much more. And in 2016, she became the first African-American female score composer to be a member at the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences. Kathryn has two projects at Sundance this year: the documentary Rita Moreno, Just a Girl Who Decided to Go For It, and the biopic Amy Tan, Unintended Memoir, directed by James Redford. Kathryn was last at Sundance Film Festival with Toni Morrison, The Pieces I Am, for which she received an Emmy nomination and also won an SCL award. So welcome, Kathryn.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
I've known you now for a few years, and I first met you at Sundance, actually, when working on Dear White People, and I've been a fan of you and your work ever since. You've been a pretty regular at the festival. Can you tell us what makes Sundance so special and so unique for you?
Well, Sundance is such an incredible community of artists and storytellers from various platforms and experiences. And it's always, it's pretty intense when you first arrive. There's so much to do. And there's so much going on, not to mention, this year, obviously, we're doing everything remote, but when you're there in person, the altitude change is something you look up and it's 5 o'clock and you're getting drowsy. So that was the first thing I noticed the first time I went there. But overall, I just think that the festival has always been such an advocate for unique and innovative storytelling and unique and activism-oriented storytelling. And that's always been something that has appealed to me.
Kathryn, can you talk a little bit about the two films you have at Sundance this year? And also I'm interested in how you got to work with James Redford.
Well, it just was such a gift. I worked with him on a previous film, the film that he directed prior to this called Playing for Keeps. And he just reached out to me. He and his team reached out to me. They had heard my scores in other capacity and they really liked my music. And I just found him to be one of the most genuine, just gracious people I've ever collaborated with. Just a real sense of honoring the process of teamwork and just being very open-minded. And so he then asked me to come on board for Amy Tan, the Unintended Memoir. And I'm so happy that I've been able to be a part of his last film. I'm still, grieving and in shock of his passing, but I feel very honored to have worked with him.
And on the documentary about Rita Moreno, how did that come about? And if you also can talk a little bit about the music, and obviously one is a documentary, one is a biopic, which I don't know if you scored them more or less at the same time, but if you can also talk a little bit about the approach, a documentary versus a more narrative feature.
Well, they're both documentaries, and the Rita Moreno documentary. I was approached by the production company and the director, Miriam Perez. She really advocates women participating in her filmmaking process, which is lovely. And I've done several films for PBS American Masters, and Miriam really wanted to accommodate and be a part of the world of Rita Moreno's appreciation for jazz. So she wanted the score to be in that genre. And I just, that's right in my wheelhouse. I love jazz. I love all music, and jazz is something that has always been intrinsic in me. So that's how that happened. And with the Amy Tan score, that is a lot of piano music because that was central to her upbringing.